Am I the asshole for not inviting a family member with a service dog to my wedding? I, 27 female, am getting married in August. My fiance and I are having about a 90% wedding. It's not that lavish, but we want it to be a party for all that come. We are paying for the whole thing ourselves. No help from either of our families. I prefer to keep the wedding smaller, and 90 is actually a cut down list from 180. One of the people cut was a cousin I grew up with, who, if didn't have a service dog, would have been invited. And honestly, could have been in the running to be a bridesmaid. Oh, that sounds really bad. So you are basically discriminating against her because she has a service dog? That is pretty bizarre. I don't think people will mind if she has a service dog, even if she's a bridesmaid. I mean, if you like her personality, like if you like her personally, why does a service dog kind of change your mind? Is it just because of the aesthetics? Because having a bridesmaid with a service dog, near the altar next to you, is like, I don't think people are going to care. We grew up together and were close growing up. Sometimes during college, she got a service dog. This is when I stopped hanging out with her outside of family functions. It's a dog for PTSD, and I don't know what the task it's trained for is. I don't know what the cause of her PTSD is either. I mean, do you have a phobia against dogs? Is that why? I mean, if that's the reason you stopped hanging out with her, because you have a phobia against dogs, then yeah, it's understandable and you might not be an asshole. Continuing on, I just don't like dogs and don't view any dogs favorably. My family knows this and until now had never been an issue. Because of her service dog, we just grew apart. There was never any argument or event that happened. Our lives just went separate ways. I also met my fiance and had a group of college friends I started hanging out with. Before these questions come up, I'm not allergic. I was never bit by a dog. There is no trauma. Dogs just aren't for me. That clears things up a bit. So she's not unfriending her cousin for the aesthetics of, having a service dog on stage. At first, I thought the service dog was for blind people, like the service seeing dogs kind of thing, like guide blind people around. But in this case, her cousin is perfectly fine, apart from the PTSD. So that's why she needs a service dog. So I guess, I don't know, does that make it better? Because it's still a service dog for a mental health issue or for like a health issue in general. So does that make it better? Oh, I don't know. But maybe it is a phobia that she hasn't really diagnosed herself with. Well, let's read on. Invites were sent out and I got a message from my cousin asking where her invite was. My aunt, her mum, was talking about my wedding. I told her she wasn't invited and we had to cut the guest list down. She said that I don't get why she didn't make the cut. We were close for a long time and kept pressing. Finally, I told her that I don't want a dog at my wedding. It took her a day to respond to that, but by that point, I had heard from my mom and aunt and several family members. I held firm. I'm paying for the whole thing. I'm controlling that day and who is there. I finally compromised and texted my cousin she could come, but her dog wasn't invited. That set off a shitstorm for her that came down on me. I answered the call from her and all I heard was yelling on the other end. I hung up. This was followed by many text messages calling me an asshole, I'm ableist, etc. This drama has been going on for over a week now, and it's a few months until the wedding. There is a faction of family that have said they are declining now. They are using my mom to pressure me or pressuring her into not coming. My mom is supporting me because it's my wedding and I'm paying for it. AITA here? Yeah, I mean, I get that you're paying for it, and I know weddings cost a buttload of money, and as the bride and groom, you want it to be perfect. But then again, I don't know. Yeah, it's unless your family knows that you have a very strong phobia against dogs, or just any phobia in general against dogs, then I find it very hard to kind of, support your viewpoint of, yeah, just because you're not a fan of dogs can't come to your wedding. I would just say to your cousin, I mean, I know it's a bit hard now because the cat's out of the bag. Even if she does attend now, I don't see how that's going to be a happy day for any of you. Like, she's going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed. Sorry, it's wrong form. This is not relationship advice. This is AITA. AITA for not inviting your cousin just because you don't like dogs? Yes. Now, if you had a phobia on the other hand, then no, you are not AITA. People have phobias against many, many things. And, it is your special day. So you shouldn't be subjecting yourself to the thing that just scares the jeepers out of you. But in this case, you're saying that you don't actually have any phobia against dogs. They're just not your thing. You don't really view dogs favorably. So in this case, AITA, I would have to go with you are the asshole in this case. Now, let's look at some of the comments. Most upvoted comment, are you within your right to include or exclude someone you don't want at your wedding? Yes. Are you an asshole for excluding someone on the basis of a disability? Also yes. The dog is a medical device, not a pet. Very, very true. It doesn't matter if you like dogs or not, because it's not about you. It fulfills a medical need for someone who you apparently never really cared about in the first place. YTA. I think OP is the R, but I wonder if the dog is an actual service dog or an emotional support dog. If it's the latter, OP is less of an asshole. Thank you for watching this far. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. And as always, see you next time.